section 14-1 in digits if you want to follow along with me or review any of these examples after I'm done. So we talked about this very briefly before we left school, but we have samples and populations when we look at different data groups. Population is everyone that we're looking at. So for example, if we were looking at the school, the population of the school would be all the 7th graders and all the 8th graders. It's often hard to talk to an entire population at once, so we choose a smaller sample from within there. So you can see here different sample groups that were chosen out of this population. So a sample of our school could just be pulling a random group of kids who come into school in the morning, talking to a smaller group rather than talking to everyone in the entire school. So first example here says you are investigating the lengths of all the words in a book. Determine whether each description is a population or a sample. So if I'm looking at a book, I'm going to think about what the population would be and the sample. Population is overall. What is everything we're looking at? Well, if we're looking at everything in a book, specifically the words, my population would be here C, where it says all the words in the book. When I look at all of the words on one page out of the book is a sample. Every other word in the book is another type of sample. And just one word out of the book, even though it's a very, very small sample, still a sample. Oh yeah, outstanding. We're great. All right, one more like that. So if we're studying the t-shirts being sold at a clothing store, which are samples? So again, samples means not everything. So if we look at every other shirt in the every other t-shirt in the store, that would be a sample. All of the t-shirts in the store, well, that's everything. That's everything we're talking about. That would be our population. All of the medium shirts, that's a sample. One t-shirt, definitely a sample. And finally, all of the striped t-shirts in the store would also be an example of a sample. All right, move to part 2. Now for part 2, we're going to talk about bias within a group. So when we pick a group, we want to make sure that it doesn't have a certain bias. So a bias is a tendency toward a particular perspective that is different from the overall perspective of a population. So again, let's talk about our school. If I wanted to know how many students said their favorite subject was math, would I choose a random group of students and ask them to find out representative of the population, or would I ask my math club? Would I get a true representation of how many students' favorite subject of math if I only asked students who came to my math club? No, those students are biased towards math. Most likely, they're going to say they like math better than other students because they go out of their way to do more math. So, our example here says that we are studying people in the United States. We want to know who spends at least 2 months every year within 200 miles of the ocean. Now we have our population here. We want to know what our population is. Oop, lost my mouse. Hold on. There we go. Our population here, we're looking at everything in this map. So that would be everyone in the United States. But we want to know what percentage of the people in the United States, or what portion of the United States, spends at least 2 months every year within 200 miles of the ocean. Now, we want to know out of everyone in the United States. So would it make sense to talk to just people in these green states? People who live on the coast? No, those people live by the coast all year long. How about these purple states in the middle here? Do you think they often make it to the beach or spend 2 months of the year at the beach? Most likely not, since they live centrally in the United States. We would want to talk to population randomly throughout the entire country. So over here we have this sample that says 100 people from each state. This would represent a non-biased group because it's a random group of people throughout the country. Right, part 3. So part 3, we're going to talk about making some inferences off of our data. So taking our data, finding out some statistics from it, and proving something based on our samples that we chose. Now we want to make sure we always have a valid inference. So we want to be able to prove what we have from the data that we found. We're going to use that from our sample and relate it to our population. So if we say 25% said it's true for our sample, we're going to make the inference that 25% of our population also agree with that statement. All right, here's our example. It says a magazine company studies a representative sample of people who read their magazine. In the sample, there are 12 women and 8 men. which inference or inferences about their relationships are valid. So we have 60% of the magazine's readers are women, 8 out of 12 of the magazine readers are men, and more men read the magazine than women. So all we know that 12 women and 8 men said that they read the magazine. So what can I say is true from that? Well, I know if there's 12 women and 8 men, there are definitely more men. So it cannot be option 3 here. We definitely cannot say more men than women read the magazine. What about number 2 here? Number 2 says 8 out of 12 of the magazine's readers are men. Now this one's a little tricky. It looks like it would be right. However, it's saying 12 women and 8 men. So that means we talked to how many people total? 20. We talked to 20 total people. So that would mean that 8 out of 20 of the magazine's readers are men, not 8 out of 12. So again, not number 2. Last option here is 60% of the magazine's readers are women. Well, if we do some math here and we think about this, if we have 12 women, and again, a total of 20 people that read that, let me just here at another tab, let's see if we want to change that to a percentage. We would take 12 divided by 20, and we do get 0.6, which you all know is 60%. So that means that the first option here, number 1, 60% of the magazine's readers are women, is our true statement. So based on that statistic from our sample, we can make the inference that 60% of our population for that magazine readers are women. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know I threw a lot of information at you right here. Please feel free to watch this video again. You also have the other example video that I put up there. If you have any questions at all, please send me an email while you are working. Use all of those question help tools available through Pearson for you. Email me at absolutely any time. I am available from 1 to 2 in my office hours. I will get back to you instantly. If you want, we could do a Google Meet where I can see your screen and actually work through the question with you. Please feel free to email me. I'm here to answer any questions you have. I know quite a few of you have already been emailing me, asking me questions. I hope I've been helpful in getting back to you. But again, let me know if you need anything, and have a great day.